Welcome. This video will provide you with guidelines on the criteria of selecting someone to be a part of your ministry program. The first question you want to ask yourself is whether or not the individual is a member of our church. Well, how do you know whether that person is or not? We have a lot of people that are attenders and not members. Well, you need to check the membership list. I will provide you with an updated list every 3 months in January, April, July, and October. Why is this question so important? Well, if the person is a member of the church, they really have already gone through the first stage of the vetting process. You see, we know that they are a professing believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. We've heard their faith story and that they have committed their life to the Lord Jesus. We also know that they are in agreement with our doctrinal statement, our covenant, and values. So we kind of know that they are on the same page with us already as a member of our church. Well, what about the person that you don't find on the list, a person who is not a member? What are you to do then? Well, simply contact Ken, Jared, or myself, and we will consult with you. We have a certain criteria, a certain set of questions that we ask ourselves, and some will ask you concerning the appropriateness of that individual serving in your ministry program. The first question we want to consider is whether or not we know if the person is a professing believer. Have they committed their life to the Lord Jesus? Have they said so? Have we heard their story? Another question we would want to consider is if they've actually been invited to join the church. Has anybody reached out to them and asked them to consider becoming a member? Now, I actually provide a class twice a year in May and November about membership. It's a 90-minute class that gives an overview of what membership is about. It's quite possible that at simultaneous of them coming on board with your ministry and them seriously considering membership can be all part of that process. Of course, we have to look at each person case by case. Now, another important question for us to consider is what do we know about the person, about their lifestyle and their convictions? It's not that we are going to try to scout everything out, but if there's anything that we know right offhand that is in direct contradiction to what we believe and value as a church. For instance, if that individual is joining your ministry team and they're living in direct disobedience of the Lord and flagrant sin, like they're living with their boyfriend and girlfriend, we know that that goes in direct contradiction to our understanding of what sexuality and marriage is, and we'd be sending the wrong message by having them being on a ministry team or ministry program. Finally, we would want to know more about the program that you want them to serve in, as well as the role that they'll be serving. Because we realize that it's not all on the same playing field when we're thinking about what person will be serving in what ministry. One of the things that might be helpful to you is to know that we actually, as pastors, make a distinction between something that is an ongoing ministry versus an event itself. You see, an ongoing ministry would be something like serving on the deacon committee, or teaching Sunday school, or playing in the praise team, or singing in the praise team. Whereas an event is usually a once-a-year experience, like trunk or treat, or serving on the community outreach project, or being on the missions trip. We would look at an event versus an ongoing ministry very differently. And so, again, it's somewhat of nuance as we go through this decision-making process to assist you. We want to just make sure that you know what we'd be thinking through so that it's not just a willy-nilly kind of thing. There's one more thing I need to talk about, and that is if you are doing a children's program or a youth program, no matter if the person is a member or an attender, they need to be screened. We have that all outlined in our children and youth protection policy. And if you don't have a copy of that or you're not aware of what the screening process is, by all means, contact me and I will make sure you get a copy, and I will explain it in any way that you need to further understand what that screening process is all about. Well, I hope this has been a help to you, and I appreciate you taking these 5 minutes or so to watch this video. If you have questions, by all means, connect with me. And I also would ask that if you have watched the video, that you would just let me know that you have, so I know that you viewed it. Thank you.